Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it! So here's what you get. From Canada, Ryan and Ruban.
All right, welcome everybody to the worst of the best podcast. May I say to our listeners, whether it's past, present, or after Halloween, I hope you had a safe and wonderful Halloween. I hope you will have a wonderful Halloween. If it's in the middle of summer, you're listening to this episode, I hope you're having a wonderful season. Whatever season you're in, welcome to the worst of the best podcast. I am Ryan, your host, and with me, as always, is Ruben. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Ryan.
So, Ruben, are you taking the kids out for Halloween in a few days?
I am. What are your kids dressing up as?
Good question. I don't know. I know they got their costumes. I think they're... I know they have costumes. I think Spider-Man for Jackson. He's a huge Spider-Man. I think cool. Spider-Man for both boys. And I think Madison is a princess of some sort.
Oh, fantastic. So she doesn't need to dress up.
Aw.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
Yeah. Dude, what about your girls?
Robots.
Of course. Standard girl outfit. That's good. I love it. That's good. I love it. My daughter's a princess. Yours are robots. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ruben, what's the best part of other than
fireworks?
Fireworks. Thank you.
Did you know that fireworks is specific to
BC?
BC. I moved to Calgary, Alberta. Halloween came. I'm like, yeah, let's get some fireworks. We're like, what are you talking about? It was bizarre for me. It's like somebody coming up and saying, hey, it's Easter. Let's get some fireworks.
Yeah.
Like, why would it be any fireworks for Easter? It's the same type of disconnect.
It's weird. For those of our listeners, I would say the majority of our Canadian listeners are from Canada. They know what we're talking about regarding fireworks, but they might not know that, yeah, throughout Canada and throughout parts of the U.S., fireworks on Halloween is an odd thing.
Yeah. We grew up with it. Firecrackers.
Mm-hmm.
We buy firecrackers for some, stoner guy at school.
It was always somebody's brother or something. Like, I remember them giving money. I was like in 5th and 6th grade, paper route money.
Yeah. To
complete strangers, and they would bring the goods the next day. They're like, how many cherry bombs do you want? How many what are they called? Lady fingers?
Yeah.
You know, they're like the smaller kind of. I mean, you ever hold one in your hand and have it go off?
Do you remember Jason doing that?
Yeah. So our brother Jason, he was probably in grade 6. No, he was in grade 7 or 8.
I think close to 8.
Yeah. Of course, mom and dad have gone to work. The boys are in the house, eating their porridge, getting ready for school. And I hear this boom. Jason, he lit a firecracker in the hallway. Sorry, in the stairwell of our house. Yeah. So between the first and second floor, there's that little landing. The reason why, do you remember why he did it?
Refresh my memory. I have a story that has yet to match up to this yet.
Okay. My understanding is because I remember asking him, Jason, why in the world? I always consider myself the reasonable one. I said, sure. Jason, why in the world did you light a firecracker in the house? He says, I wanted to hear it reverb and echo inside the stairway.
This was not the story that I had for Jason.
Okay. Oh.
When he would light the wick of the firecracker, he would pinch it to stop it from exploding into the firecracker. I believe mom was home, maybe mom and dad. So he was doing that. He was playing with fire, literally. He went to pinch it and couldn't pinch it in time. And so not to get caught, he cupped the firecracker in both of his hands and held it tight.
I think I remember that. His hand was like black inside, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's exploded in his hands.
That's awesome. Boy, Jay, he was a tough bugger, man. He was a tough kid, man. Like he was something else, and he still is to this day. We love our brother Jason.
Hey, Jay.
We love our brother
too. Back to Halloween. We go for the candy.
Yes.
Candy.
Now, Ruben, without looking at this list, and of course people have seen the title of our episode.
Sure.
Is there candy that when you got as a kid, you're like, ugh,
Number one's Halloween.
Okay, well, don't give it away.
Okay, all right. Let's.
I'm going to bleep that out because it might have been your answer. There you go. Because I shouldn't have set you up with that question because our list this is the 10 worst. So these are the 10 worst Halloween candies that ruin your Halloween. So Halloween, Ruben, as you know, is one of the greatest days of the year. So when you're a kid, there's nothing better than being encouraged to go out and stuff your face with as much candy as you can get your hands on. Like, fill it up with pillowcase. Maybe you fill up your pillowcase full of candy. We literally have a pillowcase full of candy.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how much sugar we ate as kids. But it was a pure sugar. It was a different sugar.
Simpler times.
It was simpler. It really was.
I know.
I even told my kids, I wish you could have been raised one. Like Saturday morning cartoons, and I don't know. Anyways. So Halloween is fun for adults too, as handing out candy is a nostalgic reminder of our youth. And Ruben, I live in an area here where Becky and I moved here in Quebec. It's a really great neighborhood. There is family houses everywhere. We've been told to get maybe enough for 200 kids.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I told Becky, she's going out with a neighbor. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. I kind of feel like a third wheel because it's just the two moms going with the kids. And she's like, oh, no, you got to hand out the candy. There's going to be like 200 kids coming through. Oh, yeah, I guess I will be busy at the door.
Crazy.
Yeah. They're all going to be speaking French to me, too, but I'll just...
What do they say in French?
Trick or treat, thankfully.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say trick or treat in English, yeah. So they'll say trick or treat, and I'm going to have a couple little lines memorized in French for what a great costume. don't you kids look great?
Oh, this is even funnier.
I'll say something wrong in French, like, do you kids want to come inside the house for candy or something? I don't know.
Okay, what is the longest sentence you can speak in French?
Oh, not very many. I'm very bad. Becky can say a few more things than I can. My studying French has gone by the wayside. Becky's studying it more than I am. She's actually going twice a week to class for French. So
well, good for her.
Yeah. I'm just too busy with work and family to actually study for it. Not to say that Becky's not busy, but I just 12 to 14-hour work days. So, Ruben, unless, of course, your childhood Halloweens were bitter disappointments, so I don't think ours were.
If you're a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Australian.
Yeah. Or just a lot of very strong, like kind of born again or Baptist. I don't know what denomination, but those are some strong.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I forgot about that. My kids went Christian school and they weren't allowed to dress up.
No.
She wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter. I'm like, it's fiction, right?
Well, it's because it deals with magic, and they believe that magic is. Well, number one, it's not real.
Well, that's why I said to the teacher, I was like, it's not real, right?
So, they equate magic to the devil, and which is weird because it's like equating, the Force from Star Wars to the devil.
I said the same thing.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Unless, Ruben, of course, your childhood Halloweens were bitter disappointments and you want to take it out of the next generation, then you should hand out these awful candies. So what we've done, Ruben, is we've compiled the list of the 10 worst candies that we can get. Now, of course, there's millions of bad candies, but these are the ones that most people should know what they are. You ready to go, number 10?
Yes. Tootsie Rolls.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Anything you want to say about Tootsie Rolls?
Remember Tootsie from The Facts of Life?
No, that was a Tootie.
Tootie, that's right.
I remember Tootie from Facts of Life. Well, who was the one that ate all the candy? Was that Mel?
No. It wasn't Joe. I was in love with Joe. Blair. I should have been in love with Blair.
Blair. Yes, she was the candy. She definitely ate all the candy.
No. It wasn't Blair that ate all the candy. Blair was the prince.
She's the blonde-haired one.
Yeah.
Mel.
She was the. All right, but Tootsie Rolls. Here's a little fun Halloween fact for you.
Okay.
In World War II, Tootsie Rolls were included in the American field rations. The toughness allowed them to survive on a variety of environmental conditions. This proved invaluable to American soldiers who, in emergency situations, used the hardened candies to pelt Nazis to death.
Were Nazis truly killed by Tootsie Roll?
I don't think so, but it was part of the rations.
Yeah, I know.
I like Tootsie Rolls.
I don't mind them. Spoiler alert, it's probably not going to be it probably won't be my worst candy from the worst. These are the best worst candies, if that makes sense. We're picking the worst of the worst. You could tell when some Tootsie Rolls were recycled from the previous Halloween.
Yeah.
All right, Smarties, Ruben. Smarties. And now for our American listeners, or for those who aren't from Canada, Smarties are a hardcover chocolate. They're candy shell chocolates. Sorry, the multicolors: purple, brown, yellow, green, red. They look like M&Ms, but they're not. They are milk chocolate inside. In Canada, Smarties are called Rockets. That's not the Smartie. We are talking about the Canadian Smarties.
In Canada, Smarties are the chocolate things. In America, Smarties are Rockets.
Okay. So for our American listeners, in Canada, we call them Smarties. But if you're wondering what the heck Ryan and Ruben are talking about, because we are from Canada, they're called Rockets in the States. So this helps to avoid confusion with the other candy. Yeah, Smarties, Ruben. What's your feelings on Smarties?
Look, we're only 2 in. I love Tootsies. I love Smarties.
Oh, wow.
Which one's going to be the worst? I don't know.
Well, between the two of them, let's just do a little hot take right now. Between 10 and 9, which one is worse than the other one? Which one would you get rid of before the other one?
I guess ultimately it'd be Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I would rather.
But I like the soft, but sometimes I don't like the chemically coating. You know,
Right.
It's a toss up. Ultimately, I would pick Smarties to enjoy.
I think this next candy, Ruben, is an American candy. Go ahead but we have a lot of U.S. listeners, so our Canadian listeners might not know what we're talking about, but they can look it up.
Necco wafers were first made in 1847. They're from an era where Halloween treat was getting to leave the coal mine an early hour. Their flavor reflects the fact that their target audience's taste buds were permanently set to dust. You know these candies. Have you had these candies?
I think so.
It's like Rolaids if Rolaids were a candy.
That's right. That's right. They're like a candy tum. Yeah.
Our dad sure has to go. He's like, what?
Is he still doing the Rolaids in tums?
I don't know. I only get heartburn when I have high carb food.
I was going to say, Ruben, I have not gotten acid reflux in the throat or heartburn since I've been on keto.
Maybe it's the diet that's the issue. Here's a little fun fact for you if that wasn't fun enough already.
All right.
In 2009, 100 plus years later, Necco introduced a new line of wafers for Catholics. Just kidding. Catholic wafers.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But this one is featuring all natural ingredients with a muted color palette.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, it's intended to eliminate whatever tiny sliver of joy the original candies might have contained.
I love that. It eliminated whatever tiny silver like the original candies might have contained. Yeah, so they basically gave you a wafer of like vegetable powder.
I want to believe that's a standalone company. That's not a part of some type of candy company that's got different lines of candies.
I gotta Google this really quick. Necco wafers. You can buy them on Amazon.
Of course you can.
Oh, they've just recently been discontinued. As of 2018, the future of Necco wafers was unclear after the Necco company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Can you believe it, Ruben? From 1847 until 2018, that's a good run, though.
It's a good run, but whoever was the president of the company probably was like, oh, it happened on my watch.
Right, let's go on. So Round Hill Investments purchased the company out of bankruptcy for $17 million in May 2018. But then
they did not.
Yes, they did.
They did not buy $17 million of Necco wafers.
They did, but then they abruptly ended operations at Necco on July 24th of the same year, citing sanitation issues.
Ew.
Yeah, so these people bought it, and they're like, oh my gosh, the factory has rat feces in it.
It's the original wafer.
So Round Hill has sold off various Necco lines to other candy companies. The Necco Wafer, Sweethearts, the original Conversation Heart, and Canada Mints, as well as the equipment used to manufacture them, were sold to Spangler Candy Company of Bryan, Ohio. In September 2018, Spangler announced plans to return the Necco Wafer to the market with a target date of November 2019. So just after Halloween, we should see these returned.
Good. They live on. They live on. Live on.
Chocolate coins. There's something about the combination of chocolate and foil wrapping that turns an otherwise delicious food into a bitter disaster.
It's the most useless thing. Go on.
Yeah, well, because foil wrapped chocolate is disgusting, especially disappointing candy because there's no obvious reason as to why. Maybe the coins sit on store shelves for too long or don't age well, or maybe their low cost is maintained by replacing their regular ingredients for chocolate with murdered drifters. We'll never know. Here's a fun fact. In 2008, a batch of chocolate coins were recalled after it was discovered they'd been tainted with melamine. Authorities were worried that the dangerous industrial chemical would improve the taste of coins to the point where children would become confused and their tiny brains would be unable to comprehend why their chocolate was suddenly edible. And you never get the tinfoil off. You always get it under your fingernail. And I was going to say, it's quite the process because they're all imprinted with quite little designs on the tinfoil. It's quite the process to wrap these chocolates up with the one layer over the other layer of tinfoil.
It's very unnecessary if the end goal is to have chocolate.
Basically, how can we polish this turd?
That's what it is. It's a polished turd. But you know what is not, my brother? Double bubble.
Double bubble.
Yeah, gum on Halloween. Already a dubious prospect, as every minute spent chewing is a minute not spent shoveling candy down your pie hole. You can only save packs of extra for those gloomy post-Halloween days. Not so for double bubble, which starts out as though it's concrete, and soon replaces diamonds as the world's hardest substance. But your reward for ruining your teeth on a piece of scant few seconds of what can only be generously described as flavor, after which it becomes tasteless, a rubbery mass. It is more pleasant to chew the wrapper. You know, I loved double bubble as a kid.
But yeah, we all did. I will say, I agree that it does become just you're chewing on a rubber band after about 20 seconds. But I will say that initial burst of flavor that comes in the first 5 seconds of chewing is amazing. And I've always said it would be great if you could create a gum where every bite is the first bite.
Yeah. We're in the middle of right now watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder. We watched the first half tonight. We're going to do the second half tomorrow night.
Is that one of his gums? Was the idea that it never lost its flavor?
I think so. I know there's the Everlasting Gobstopper.
Right.
I don't know if I'm getting that confused, but we're only in the first half, so I'll let you know next time.
Keep me posted on that. Keep me posted.
Sure. But in the meantime, here's a fun little Halloween fact. Double Bubble was invented by an accountant. And to this day, the gum is made primarily from shredded accounts receivable statements.
Hey, speaking of jawbreakers or gobstoppers, Ruben, want to go with number 5?
Me?
Yeah, I think it's your turn.
I just said double bubble.
Oh, my bad. So speaking of gobstoppers, or also known as jawbreakers in the non-Willy Wonka world, jawbreakers suffer from the same flaw as gum. They take forever to eat. That would be okay. That would be okay if they tasted good, but their weak, sugary flavor just doesn't do it when you have piles of chocolate waiting. And let's be honest, you thought the name was exaggeration, and then you bit down hard on one of these bad boys. Don't be ashamed. We've all done it, and we all have a chipped tooth to prove it. Kids don't take a name like Jawbreaker as a warning. They take it as a challenge. Providing candy that encourages children to injure themselves is only a good idea if you plan on giving it away from an unmarked van. So I remember there was a Jawbreaker. We've all done Jawbreakers. It's not the worst candy in the world, no spoiler. Yeah, it is kind of like a nauseating process to keep sucking on the Jawbreaker to go from one layer to the next. And the flavor changes. If you've got a good Jawbreaker, the flavor will change on each layer. Sometimes you'll have like a powdery goodness in the middle or something in the middle to look forward to. I remember, though, when you get some of these Jawbreakers, Ruben, you've probably seen them, where they're just too big for your mouth. They're literally just choking hazards.
It's kind of cruel. Like, here's something that you can't partake of. And if you're really dedicated to it, it's just the slobbering mess.
Right.
Yeah.
4, Ruben, Good and Plenty's. You ever heard of these?
Good and Plenty.
Oh, I forgot to say my fun Halloween. Okay, fun Halloween fact, Ruben, regarding Jawbreakers. In 2003, a Jawbreaker that had been left out in the sun exploded, giving a 9-year-old girl minor burns. That's a fun fact. In the lawsuit that followed, the manufacturers admitted that Jawbreakers are intentionally designed to maim children.
It's always like the 9-year-old girl. You know, it's a girl, good and plenty.
Right.
Now, every child has fallen for the twisted trap that is good and plenty. They look tasty. The pink is probably cherry flavored, but what could the weight be? You scoop a handful into your mouth and find out. Black licorice. Black licorice is candy in the sense that someone who commits stabbing in a hospital is a surgeon. Studies have shown that nobody under the age of 80 likes black licorice, which is why the only way to sell it is with a diabolical disguise. You know that urban legend about the psychopaths hiding razor blades in the Halloween candy? They're actually hiding black licorice. These kids would rather eat the razors. Full disclosure, I love black licorice.
I used to love it. I don't eat it anymore. But I don't mind black licorice. I do like it too, like the flavored covered ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You like some fun, Ryan? Well, here's a fun fact. The pink candies are dyed with K-carmine, which is produced by the crushing female cochineals, which are insects.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a terrible waste, as just eating the bugs would be tastier than eating good and plenty.
Yeah, that's probably true. Candy jewelry, Ruben. Everyone knows what candy jewelry is. You got those multicolored circled candies as a bracelet or necklace. Candy jewelry. The niche market of candy that encourages kids to dress up formally is largely of candy necklaces and ring pops. The former, candy necklaces, are part of the dreaded taste-like chalk family, while the latter, ring pops, turns into a sticky, disgusting mess the second you start eating one. Anything you touch the rest of the night becomes gooey and gross, and the cheap plastic scratches up your fingers to boot. I remember putting on Halloween candy, and I would be like, I put it on my wrist or on my neck, and I would like, you take a little bite here and there, by the end of it, you just had a string around your.
Absolutely. I hated the ring pop. That was like, to me, like, it wasn't even worth it.
My kids love ring pops. You give them a ring pop, they go cuckoo for caca.
I remember the jewelry watch. The candy watch.
That's like the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, because you'd have a big chunk of sugar that would just I loved it. Speaking of loving things, do you remember those rock hard candies that taste like a mixture of molasses and child abuse? The black and white? Their manufacturer is so ashamed of them that nobody even knows what they're called. Rumor has it they're only made in the dead of night in a hidden factory operated by the souls of the damned.
Wow.
Every adult who gives them out on Halloween turns into a bat and vanishes the next day.
Wow.
The moment a kid eats one of those is the moment their childhood ends.
True.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're really hard. They look like salt water taffy.
Yes.
But they don't taste like so.
No. It's just like, here's something. So what, pioneers would have. This is good. Like, oh yeah, this is better than grass.
Number 1, anything that isn't candy. Apples, toothbrushes, pennies, granola bars even, I would say, or dried fruit. Nothing's worse than getting something other than the candy on candy day. And it's true. Yeah, it's important to get kids eating fruit and brushing their teeth, but come on, it's Halloween. The worst non-candy item of all is pencils. Have you ever got pencils before, Ruben, or anything like that?
I think I have, yeah.
Anyone who hands out a school supply saying, hey, kid, you know this magical day where you dress up in a cool costume, stay up late with your friends, and get candy from all sorts of nice people? It's about to end, and you're going back to school tomorrow. So another fun fact here, Ruben, anyone who does give out toothpaste or any non-candy on Halloween is dead inside. So they probably are just zombies. All right, so here from this list of some of the worst, if not the worst candy you can kind of receive on Halloween. These are the common candies, you could say, because of course there's worse. There's stuff that's so bottom of the pile it would be hard to even explain. Which one, Ruben, would you say you just hope, if you were to go out trick-or-treating with your kids and they were to dump out their bags, say, Daddy, you can pick something, you would just pick this one last?
Well, I'm not going to include the thing that's not candy.
Well, you could say, do you want a pack of pencils?
Sure. Okay. So which one would I not want out of these the most?
They're the most. Yeah. Which one do you want the least, or which one do you not want the most? How's that for?
It's the Halloween candy that you don't know really where it's made, what company makes it.
That kind of generic. Like, where did this come from? Yeah, where did it come from? There's no brand.
Whoever makes it is not proud of it.
We can't even visit their website.
We don't want anybody to know that we're associated with this.
So
we'll probably get audited.
So you're picking,
because people will be so mad at us.
Sorry, you're picking whatever those orange or black things are called?
Yeah, I am. I just got like a little Halloween generic wrappers or whatever.
I think I'm close to that, Ruben. I'm close to that. It's a toss-up between Necco wafers. Yeah. I think I'm going to go with the Necco wafers. One, because right. Necco is like very close to dead body.
Necrophilia?
Yeah, it's like Well, just necroism, which is dead. Anything that's dead. And they...
I forgot about Necco, and I changed my answer.
You going with Necco?
Yeah.
All right.
Necco it is. You're the worst.
Necco wafers predate the Civil War, but now their maker, the New England Confectionery Company, may go out of business, according to published reports, meaning its Necco wafers could disappear from candy shelves for good.
To this day, I still love them. Every time that I eat one, I think of, growing up.
Therese McDonald owns Chicago's Candyality. She smiles when talking about this nostalgic candy that, depending on who you ask, has been revered or reviled by generations of Americans for their multi-flavored, dry, and at the same time mouth-watering appeal.
Even if you're not a fan of the classic Necco wafer, some of your favorite treats might be in jeopardy, like the candy buttons many of us used to peel off of paper as kids.
Don't forget sweethearts with printed messages. Clark bars, Mary Janes, and slapsticks are among the other goodies that may not be around for long. The Necco wafer even has a special tie to Chicago.
People used to use those as slugs instead of real coins in the toll booths.
Plenty have been eaten, too.
We're going to lose an icon in the candy industry, and to that, it breaks my heart.
But McDonald is determined to make the sugar rush last at Candyality, ordering 4 times her normal inventory of Necco products to keep up with rising demand. And if you're worried about buying too much,
you can put them in a dark closet and they'll last forever.
Though she hopes it won't come to hoarding these now endangered treats.
I really truly believe a true candy lover is going to come and save the day for all of us in America.
So the next generation can learn to love or hate this unique candy classic.
All right, go bankrupt again.
Yeah, well, Necco's gone. They're also terrible. They actually, out of these 10 candies, they've gone bankrupt because they're so terrible. But they had a good run, 1847 to 2018. That's a longer business run than I'll ever have.
Oh, yeah. I hope, I'm a business owner. I hope that I can last that long.
All right, Ruben, as always, it's a pleasure. You've been on the Worst of the Best podcast. It's been a pleasure. Remember, in front of every silver lining, there's a cloud. We're there to help you find it.